on, guys? We're back down here in the basement doing a little random work on the Eclipse tonight. It's about midnight, we'll say, but it's a Monday night and I'm off Monday night, so we're having some fun down here. Got the new welder. Don't know if you guys saw the short or not. We did retire the old Chicago electric welder down here for the far superior, and I highly recommend the titanium Flux 125. The box is down there, and we got it up here. I've been messing around with it, doing some practice welds, testing the machine out, just seeing how it goes. And you can lay some really nice lines down. I just was testing out different wire speeds and amperage settings and blah blah blah, but it lays down probably the best beads that I've ever laid down welding, period. So I like it a lot. Also, because we're inside, we had to put a little vent in, and that up there is just a sheet of plywood with some stick-on insulation, and then I covered a little space with some duct tape because there's a, it's plywood. It's permeable. Water can get through it and air can leak. It was an old piece, but I grabbed one of these. This is a inline duct fan, a 6-inch. It's like a booster fan. So if your heat doesn't make it all the way up to a different part of the house through the ductwork, you stick one of those in, you plug it in, and that's actually doing a fantastic job of venting all the smoke out from the flux welder. Blech, can't talk. Also picked up a little cap and welded on a little hook so I have a handle, and this just simply goes over the top of that, shuts it off, and I think I'm going to put some weather stripping around the inside of it to make a nice seal. Other than that, it's working very well. It's serving its purpose. But tonight, I want to continue on my mission to clean up the engine bay some and get ready to install our oil catch can, which is still sitting right there, but it's going to go in the car hopefully tomorrow. So I have to get rid of the 3-inch General Motors, the 3-inch GM MAF sensor that's sitting in line in a blow-through setup right about 10 inches from the throttle body or so. And I don't have TIG down here, or 220, so we're going to have to flux core some mild steel pipes together that I have from my first rendition of intercooler piping, and hopefully we can clean up the couplers and clamps mess that's on there. They haven't blown off in a while, they're not leaking, but there's a ton of them. I think I counted 8 pieces or something like that sitting under the hood between the first 24 inches of intercooler piping from the throttle down. So we're going to try to go from the throttle elbow down to the blow-off valve, or maybe even move the blow-off valve because I don't really like that flange anyway, and see if we can possibly clean up the engine bay just a bit, because I want to have the passenger strut tower clear where the what was back there. We just moved something out of there. Come on, Jared. Oh, cruise control. The cruise control module. Cruise control module was there, and we're obviously done with that. We deleted it, so now we'll have a place to put that little black box back there. Alright, let's head on out, guys, and I'm gonna repeat this again because if you didn't see the short, you need to hear it. I know a lot of you guys follow the channel. There's a ton of you now, way more than I ever thought there would be for my little hobby that I started up a couple years ago. Climb out of the basement here, but I highly recommend, if you're gonna try to start welding like I have, forgive me, I gotta be a little bit more quiet out here, it's a little late, but if you guys are gonna start welding like I did, go ahead and spend the extra $50 to $75 and pick up the titanium brand Flux 125, and don't buy the Chicago Electric. It's completely different. It runs DC electrode negative, which is how you run flux core welding, and it's so much better. I actually went back home for Christmas and used my father's one, and it was amazing. So yeah, spend the extra money. Alright, let me pop this hood. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay guys, I've got the hood popped here, and as you can tell, we have a whole mess of stuff going on here. So what I want to do, this is my IAT for speed density. I have a 2.5 to 3 inch coupler, 3 to 2.5 inch coupler here, my MAF sensor we don't use. We've got an elbow, then we've got our blow-off valve. So what I'm thinking I'm going to try to do here is go from blow-off valve, solid pipe, to here, solid pipe all the way up to that piece, and then connect it with one coupler there and one coupler here. So I'm going to take all this stuff off, and first thing I'm going to have to do I think if I take off this blow-off valve section and take off the section up at the throttle body, I can bring the whole thing downstairs. I can kind of get an idea what I need to make, and I guess we'll go from there. So. Alright guys, we've got our section of pipe back down here, and oh, hold on one second guys. Refill 30. Got the refill. Alright. Oh, Mr. Jack Daniels, you are very nice to me. Well, Jack and Coke. Anyways, we are at this point here. We got to figure out what we're going to add with that little section of pipe, its big brother, and then the oldest. So I'm looking at this whole shape here. This is all mild steel stuff. The sensor's going to go. We've got our tape measure sitting right over here, so I think what I'm going to do is just go section by section. I kind of like where the blow-off valve is, except for the fact that it does get in the way of shutting the hood, and it's kind of buried behind the headlight. I'm thinking maybe put this piece here so I can keep that same length and weld it to the end of this elbow here. Then where my MAF sensor is, I'll put the blow-off valve right up top here, and I think that might work. So I'm gonna look into the options here for a second. I'm gonna try to figure this out. I'm gonna stick you guys over my shoulder while I go through it, take some measurements, write some stuff down, and we're just gonna try to mimic this exact shape, but with some of the extra pieces, no couplers, no sensors, well, except for the IAT, and we're gonna go coupler there, coupler on the end, all the rest solid welded pipe. Make it nice and clean. Obviously the blow-off valve has to go in there, guys, but other than that, that's gonna be it. Okay, so I've traced this thing down. It's kind of hard to see because of the light, but take my word for it, it's traced out. Here, maybe I can get over here and show you. Yeah, there we go, we can see it. So I traced this onto this work table here. We're gonna go back over here. This is the start of it right here. I wrote start, goes up, has our curve. We're gonna go blow off valve here. We got our IAT, and then we have our throttle section. So this is gonna be basically what we use to mimic this setup right here once we disassemble everything. So first I'm gonna go ahead, now that it's traced, I'm gonna take everything apart, take all these T-bolt clamps off. We got a solid shape to go by, and the only thing I'm thinking we might have to do is go outside to measure how far away to put this drop down from the throttle. That's what I think I'm going to use this for. It'll go in at the throttle and it kind of dips down. But anyway, let's get after it. And there we have it. We've got everything pulled off of the system. It's a ton of pieces. Just a pile of pieces. Pile of parts. And there's one over there too. This bung, you can actually see these absolutely ugly booger welds from that Chicago electric machine and my total lack of welding knowledge. But anyways, we're going to cut that bung off. We've got, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 7 couplers? Well, clamps and 4 couplers. That's just a lot. Although this is definitely, you know, it's not a terrible way to do things. It definitely works, but it's not that clean looking, and that's kind of what we're aiming for here. So we're gonna put this back in the bucket of spare fun, where I keep pulling more and more parts out of. Oh, got a thing for the black couplers though. They look really nice. All right, T-bolt clamps. All of these are gonna go over here to, let's see which hook wants them. Or no, didn't I put these in a, maybe I put these in a bin. I can't remember. Oh no, there they are. There's some right there. So we're gonna take, that hanger can have a few. That hanger can have a few. There we go. So now we've got some more hanger, or more couplers and clamps, some extra goodies, some hardware, really cool old GSX sticker, and my Coke clock. That is a nice looking wall. All right, this sensor we're not going to need anymore. We're going to stick it someplace safe because you never know. If something happens, you might need it, I guess. So let's see. Oh, I'm going to put it down here in the place that I'm not going to show you guys. All the special parts that I have down below there, all the new stuff that we just haven't had a chance to put on. Oh, but I can show you this stuff. I know what you're going to say. Why are you guys, Jared, why are you taking a coupler off to put a new coupler on? Well, I got a good deal on these. I thought I was going to have to use more couplers to join all this stuff because I wasn't going to weld these pipes together. But now that I've got that, I guess we can go ahead and do it. These are some brand new clamps, some nice vibrant T-bolts. 2793 is a part number. This is a 2-pack. I think it's like 20 bucks or something for 2 of them. But they're high quality. They're good. We're going to stick that off to the side. We've got another coupler here. That's going to be our bottom coupler. Actually, no, it's not. We only need one. So I guess we'll save one for the next round. Here, I'll put this down here with the other parts. And shh, don't tell anybody. All right, so we're all set up. We have to mimic our shape that's on this table here. I'm going to use this part for the top pipe, so I'm going to cut this to length to fit. We'll add that pipe last. That way we can go out, test fit it, make sure it's all nice and lined up, figure out our angle, and so forth. That bad boy off. Once we get that bad boy chopped off, hopefully it comes off with enough threads to be usable again. We'll just keep chipping away at it. So. Alright, I did a little tiny bit of cutting here. This is the bung that I crudely welded on the last time. I didn't save a whole lot of it. Didn't need a whole lot of it. Got enough threads right here. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 threads left in this bad boy right here. So that'll do fine. We're going to save this. So I'm going to stick this in my little container of goodies. This piece, however, that's going to go in the bucket of lost parts for now. And all the other couplers and all that. Keep that there. So what we've got, that's another random piece. So the elbow is the start of everything. I took that long part that I had and I just cut it, marked it, and if we follow over our tracing here, I think I got it lined up something right like that. Alright, so then we have one part to weld. So I got to clean the paint off of both of these, get it nice and lined up. Then we're going to come up here. We have this part right here, which is going to be our blow-off valve. I think how I'm going to mount that is going to be determined on basically how this thing sits under the hood. I got to go outside and check it, make sure it doesn't hit the engine because it's kind of tall. It's about, I don't know, 5-6 inches of step up that it's got on it. I could, however, cut that, re-weld that someplace else, move it if I want to, but I don't want to mess with it yet. I think I can reuse this piece, cut this a little bit straighter, and yeah, we're gonna save it. Just leave it the way it is for now. Got the first pipe put together. Now there was a pretty big gap. The cut wasn't very flush, so don't use this as a testament to the welder. I'm still learning it. But I did get a couple of decent beads down on this. I'm gonna grind this all nice and smooth, but I did not blow a bunch of holes through it, so I guess we're making some progress. I'm gonna try to cut, I think I marked it. One mark there, nice and smooth. I'm going to remove this. Then I'm going to freshen up this end here. We're going to keep on moving forward with this thing. So I guess we're going to fire up the Sawzall, the grinder, the files, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to stick you guys over my shoulder, and hopefully we can get this knocked out relatively quick. Alright, so in the interest of shortening the blow-off valve stance here, I did cut the flange off right here. And as you can see, it's lost probably 50% of its height. We're going to try to tighten this up. We're going to put it on this piece of pipe right here. And it will definitely be a little bit shorter. It's still mild steel, so I'm going to cut this so it's nice and straight. These edges, as you can tell, they're kind of weird, but I'm going to cut these edges so they're nice and straight, clean off this pipe, and I'm going to punch a hole in the center of it and hog it out with my die grinder or whatever I got over there, maybe one of my rotary tools. Anyways, chew all that extra metal out after we get it welded on. We'll punch a hole, tack it into place, give it a nice big fat bead all the way around, clean it up some, and then clean out the hole on the inside a little bit with our carbides that we got, our carbide burrs. So this will sit a little bit lower. This will save us a little bit of space. I'm just worried it's going to end up bonking the top of the hood when I shut it. This little piece right here, someplace on the blue cap, was actually touching the headlight because it was so tall. So if we're already in here, we might as well continue to clean it all up. After about a half an hour or so of grinding, we've got this pipe that we joined. Got this cleaned up a lot. Can't see the bead anymore. That's going to be painted. This part that's going to get welded is going to get painted after it's welded and grinded. I've got my replacement piece right here all ready to go and marked in the center and center punched. I'm going to start drilling this. We've got our blow-off valve flange all cleaned up. This is going to go on next, and hopefully we can get some of this stuff knocked out quick and start actually seeing some good progress grinding. I've got the new blow-off valve flange, well, the old blow-off valve flange. I've got it all mounted up, and I turned it sideways so that way I could get to these bolts better. Before it was sitting long ways, and it wasn't very easy to use. But it's all together, and I hogged out the hole on the inside with my carbide burrs. So this is ready to be added to the run of piping. So that's what I'm going to work on next. Okay guys, so after messing with a brand new welder, cutting up a bunch of random pieces of pipe that I had floating around, knocking off our blow-off valve flange and our IAT bung, this is the shape we've got. Everything is welded up. I ground all the paint off for the most part. I'm just going to put a pretty thick coat of black enamel on it, try to protect everything. But we've got everything joined up from one end to the other. Our bung is in here. Our blow-off valve flange is right there. I'd say it looks all right. I'm going to hit it with some paint here in a couple of minutes and let that set up. I'll show you guys what it looks like once I'm finished. To do after that, reinstall our blow-off valve, get our IAT back in, which is over in that tray there, and put this in the car. I am super excited because this is going to delete all those couplers, all those extra parts that are unnecessary, and really clean up what the engine bay looks like. So once springtime hits, we'll have our catch can installed, we'll have our intercooler pipe fixed, our nice blow-off valve on display there, and we can start working on all the other eyesores that are under the hood. We've got to make some brackets for things, and there's just a big list. Basically, everything that you can see in this bin and everything down below this table here on that top shelf is all new parts that have to go on to the Eclipse, and there's paint in there. I've got about 8 cans of paint match. I've got some vinyl wrap. We're gonna mess around with that possibly. Just tons of stuff. So I'm gonna throw a coat of paint on this anyways, and I will show you guys what this thing looks like once it's completely finished, completely painted, and we're ready to put it right back on the car. After about, I don't know, 5-6 hours of messing around with this, I wanted to make sure that I didn't screw it up, and I made it nice-ish. This is what we are left with, guys. I know it doesn't seem like much, but remember, this was, what, 4 different pieces in the beginning, plus some scraps. The blow-off valve was on another pipe. The IAT bung was on a different pipe. These are some extra scraps I had floating around, but she's all painted up. Everything is all finished. It's all dried. It's all ready to go. So I think the next step is to take this nice, clean little piece of kit outside and slap it in the Eclipse. Well, boys, it's been a fun, I don't know, day and a half. I've been messing with this for about a few hours last night, a few hours today, but the rewards are great. It looks fantastic. Obviously, I'm not a fan of the blue coupler, and everything in here is pretty dirty still. We're gonna work on that, I promise you. I didn't get a chance to mess with the wiring. It's a little too dark out here, but we've got our IAT run. We've got our single coupler connecting the throttle body to, well, the throttle body elbow to the intercooler pipe, which is one solid piece fed to the blow-off valve, straight down and over. Eventually, if I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I might go for some more mild steel piping, short route it, and I can actually just take this same pipe and twist it so it comes forward and goes down, and it'll connect to the intercooler in the front. But I don't know. We'll mess with that and cross that bridge when we get to it. We have a lot of other work that we're going to have to do before then. We're going to ABS delete the rest of this thing, get rid of the rusty prop valve, clean up the wall here, change out our ground cables, do a bunch of random stuff under here. It's going to be fun. So I wanted to show you guys that. Make sure you got a good look at what we ended up messing with and how it looks now. So basically, we'll be able to hook up our 2 bolts that are down here. We're going to use to mount our catch can off to the side and reroute our vacuum lines over there and our PCV line over there also. It's chilly out here. It's been a long day messing with the grinder and the welder, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits right there. It's all in. I'm gonna go drive it around tomorrow. I'll let you guys know how everything works without having the big MAF sensor restriction, the couplers, all that crap. And hopefully there'll be a little bit of a difference in airflow. I'm gonna keep an eye on the grams per rev and compare that to some old data logs, but unfortunately my laptop decided to freeze up, so I had to factory restore it. So if you guys are seeing this video, it's probably a couple of days after me doing this. So I don't know. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. It's been fun. Stay safe and warm. We'll see you right here for another episode of today's project guide. Thanks for watching, guys.